Hello. We're at the end of August, so I wanted to go over the releases that we had for the IGVF portal UI. I'm Forrest Tanaka. I work on the IGVF portal UI. So let's go over 8.15.0 to see what changed. Let's see. So the first one, show facets even with no results. Yeah, this was kind of an oversight. I didn't realize this was a problem for a while. But the problem was, let's choose here, human donors, is there were certain circumstances, mostly if you use negative facets, that you could end up with no results and no facets and no way to recover except by manually modifying the query string up here in your URL. So let's see what happens now. I'll do a negative facet on Mike Cherry's lab. There. So no results, but now we have facets. And to recover, you just turn that off. So yeah, before, once you did this, there'd be no results and no facets and no way to recover. So that's a nice improvement. Let's see. So add documentation. That's an internal issue. The test data warning banner on staging and sandbox. Yeah, so before, this red banner only appeared on staging, but now it appears on staging and sandbox. And it'll tell you which one you're looking at here. It also appears if you run this on your local computer for developers, just to demonstrate that the banner still works, because it's a little bit hard to test. Okay, next thing, filter embeddable file set charts with a query string. Yeah, so this is the embeddable chart, which you can get through content file set chart. And this is missing the rest of the UI so that you can embed this on some other website in an iframe. And so we have this little menu in the bottom corner where you can choose what month to look at, but what I added in this release is now you can select the month that you want to show by using question mark, and then you can see I rehearsed already. Month equals, and then do a 4-digit year, a dash, and a 2-digit month. And then when you do that, you just get that month's data. And notice there's no pop-up menu here. So if you wanted to publish multiple months of charts, you can now do that just through this selection. Okay, and the last one for 8.15 is display a files column in the auxiliary datasets table on the measurement set pages. So let's take a look at the measurement set pages, and we'll look for something with auxiliary sets right there. Okay, this one has a couple. Let's take a look, and here's the somewhere here. Oh, here, auxiliary datasets table. And we did not have a files column before, and now we do. So for this one, we're showing 3 files. So those are the changes for 8.15. Now let's cover 8.16. So update file tables on file set pages. Yeah, you've reorganized to some extent some of these file set tables. Let's just take a look here. I guess I'll just look for something with lots of files on them. This has lots of files. Yeah, so the way I was categorizing files on file set pages, sequencing results sort of became a dumping ground for things that even aren't sequencing files. So now, whatever you see in sequencing results tables are actually sequencing files. And we now have this new table, other raw data files, which is the catch-all now. So if you think, if this table shows up and you think these files should be categorized somewhere else, there's an easy place to see those files here. So new feature there. Update collection badges for Vista and IGVF catalog. Yeah, so probably easiest way is report type equals item and collections equals star. And let's just look at collections. Where are we here? Collections. And this one is perfect. Okay, so we have split up IGVF into catalog into 4 different versions, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and 0.4. And we have this new badge for Vista. And so this is just a modification of the earlier graphic, and Vista uses the original artwork that came from them. Next, display publication page tables and links to publications. Yes, this turned out rather nice, I thought. Publications. Let's take a look at just the samples. Okay, here's a good one. So now publication pages show a table of all the samples using this publication, and those samples now have a link to that publication. So you can just go back and forth with these links here. Go to this one, publication. Yep. Let's see, status is deleted, is an internal issue, update, read links on sequence file pages. This is an extremely small labeling change, so I won't cover that. So that's 8.16. Okay, next is 8.17. Updates for construct library set embedding change. That's an internal issue. The ORF genes property update. This is basically an internal issue as well, because we changed the name of the property in the open reading frame. Is that what it's called? Open reading frame, I think. Open reading frame, yeah. There was a property name change there that the UI had to keep up with. Remove references to deleted library construction platform. That's an internal issue. Break content type facet term on any character. Yeah, this is it was a sort of odd thing I noticed. Let's see, what has content type? Okay, all the files do. So if you look down to content type, I hadn't realized that some of these have no spaces in them, and they're so wide that they were actually making the facets scroll horizontally. So I changed the styling so that if it has no spaces, then it'll break on any character onto the next line. But if it does have spaces, then it'll break on the space. So that takes care of that issue. Remove fields. That's basically an internal issue. TypeScript conversion, internal issue. So yeah, that's it for 8.17, mostly internal issues. Yeah, as well as this one. Okay, let's go over 8.18. This is an internal change, fix handling of facet terms with special characters. Yeah, this is a very interesting one that I had never noticed. If this affects files, if you look at the file format type, you notice bed3 plus. Because of the plus sign, this actually wasn't getting selected properly. You just got crazy stuff when you tried to select bed3 plus. But now, if you select it, it shows, well, you can't really tell here. Let's do that. Okay, so file format type bed3 plus. So there's one bed3 plus, and here we're seeing it. Turn that off. We get all the files. Bed3. Now we get bed3. So that was a bug fix. Unfortunately, my bug fix had its own bug, so that's why we needed a .1 release here. Let's see, update homepage links and month selector. Yeah, that's an internal issue. Display new properties on object pages. This just added various things that were missing that we'd added to the database over time that we weren't displaying. Probably the most interesting one would be the institutional certificates. So those are on samples. Let's look for those institutional certificates. Yeah. So if a sample has an institutional certificate, we now show that and link to it right there. So yeah, and there's also some other items we weren't displaying that I won't get into. It was kind of a little bit of a scattered ticket just to fix up some stuff. Okay, 8.18.1 I mentioned. 8.19, we now show model file objects. We used to just show generic results for these model files, but we now show a proper search results, and if you select it, we now show a proper page. Before we were just showing generic properties because we didn't have a custom page for model files. We write report cell renderers for properties not in schema. Yeah, I won't demonstrate this because you just can't anymore. There are certain very unusual cases where you could crash the report page, like these. You couldn't do it through the facets. You had to actually kind of deliberately try to crash it, and it would crash. Now it won't crash in those circumstances. Yeah, and that's it for that. And you can see, once again, I introduced a bug in fixing a bug, so we needed a .run release. But anyway, those are the changes for the month of August 2024, and I hope you enjoyed.